Hello, ESS crew, and welcome back. It's Kara Lenorvis, and we're heading into our 10th week of segment 2. So let's dive right in. We're going to continue to focus on spring in the Northern Hemisphere. One, because it's here, and two, because it's also going to be part of what you're learning about this week. So think about what we discussed in the past and give you some consideration to your position geographically on Earth and our position geographically as an Earth as well in terms of where we are in relationship to our orbit around the sun. So a couple of housekeeping things. Most of these things are standard. We are going to have our synchronous session this week, so I will look forward to seeing all of you together on Thursday this week. Office hours will happen as usual on Tuesday from 8:30 to 10:30 and Wednesday from 1 to 3. Please feel free to sign up for a time if you'd like to do a check-in. And a couple of upcoming things, we've mentioned them before, but I want to just bring them back to the surface. The end is coming up soon. After this module, we're in module 8, we have one more full module to go and then a collaboration project. So hang in there. I know you're running really hard, you're working hard towards that finish line, and you're going to get there soon. So hang in there. I also want to let you know that starting this week, if you have missing assignments that are more than 2 weeks old, as per VTVLC policy, we are going to start putting in zeros for those assignments. Please know that a 0 is a place marker. It means that you haven't yet submitted that work. It does mean that you can still go back and do that work. So if you start to notice zeros in your gradebook, know that that's work that needs your attention, and you can absolutely go back and still turn in and complete that work for a grade. We want to make sure that you as a student have a more clear perspective on where you are grade-wise so that you can do everything that you can at this point to make sure you're finishing that end of the semester as strongly as possible. So be aware that those things are going to happen starting this week. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you is now that we are heading into April a little bit later this week is the April break is also on the horizon. We are going to follow a procedure similar to what we did for February break. Each of our schools doesn't quite align in terms of when our breaks will happen. So our class will follow my schedule, which is that I will be on break from the 17th through the 25th. Just like we did for February break, I will assign a weekly learning plan the week prior to that will be due the week after. So there'll be a 2-week period of time. If your vacation week happens to fall in that first section, take that week off from ESS and you can do your work during the second week when you're back in school. Or if you happen to follow my schedule, you can do your work for that weekly learning plan the first week and take your second week off as vacation. Of course, because you're operating remotely, you have the flexibility if you choose to spread your work over that 2-week period. There'll be more information coming about that as we get a little closer, but I just wanted to put that on your calendar and on your horizon. All right, so what are we focusing on this week? Well, as I mentioned earlier, in 8.05, you're going to continue to think about the Earth in space. So here you're going to be thinking about why we have seasons on Earth, has everything to do with the tilt of Earth's axis, and what season we're in and why. So again, you're going to be thinking about Earth's rotation or revolution around, revolution around our sun or orbit around the sun. In the next module, in 8.06, you're going to be thinking about the Earth, Moon, Sun system and why the moon goes through cycles. And you actually are going to be physically modeling that cycle. It will definitely help for you to do that modeling live in person as well as to record your data for the lab. So have fun with that. Definitely make sure you try it out. And then, of course, on Thursday, we're going to see each other for class. Let's take a look at the weekly learning plan. As always, a bit of an introduction to the work that we're going to be doing this week. You'll see the learning objectives for this week, reminders about communication and pacing and staying on pace, and then your to-do list. I will update the due date that's there. This work is all going to be due on April 6th. You have 4 jobs to complete. Actually, I have 3 jobs to complete. I did include last week's presentation for your reference here. You're going to start with 8.05. I did give you some additional information here, another video to add in just to give you another perspective on that content. And then you're going to be taking a quiz for 8.05. For 8.06, you're going to, of course, engage with the lesson. I've included some optional videos here just to give you, again, another perspective and some great resources. It turns out that Vermont is in prime location for the next total solar eclipse. So you might want to start checking that out and making plans so that you might be here to witness that. It's a pretty unique event to be able to be in the right spot at the right time. So for that, you're going to be also doing a lab. You're going to need some simple materials for that lab. And again, I highly encourage you to do that kinesthetic modeling yourself. It will definitely help you make sense of what you see with the lunar cycle. And then on Thursday, you're going to attend class. I'm going to ask you to bring two things with you. One is a requirement and one is optional. The first thing is I'm going to ask you to come to class knowing what phase the moon is going to be in that day. So on April 1st, what phase will our moon be in? So make sure you're paying attention. I encourage you to go out and look at the night sky this week so that you can keep track of that, and then think conceptually about what's going on with the position of the sun, the moon, and the earth for that to be the case. The second part is an optional challenge, but you'll notice that in the introduction, I gave a couple of musical references about moons. See if you can come armed with another artist and song that happens to be about moons. And if you look down below there, you're going to see our regular stuff of helpful resources, preview of upcoming work, and then opportunities coming your way as well. So to close and to sum up this week, you're going to do 8.05 and 8.06. Again, I do encourage you to check out those additional links for some new perspectives on the content you're working with. Come to class on Thursday. Your requirement is to come knowing the current phase of the moon, and if you would like, bring in a moon song, title, and artist that you think of. And then again, as always, please reach out for help during office hours if you need help. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you on Thursday this week. Take care.